I've already sampled Executive Chef Sameer's food on the stunning royal barge. And now I'm his guest at the Fairy Tale Lake Palace, where one of his fellow chefs is going to cook me another local delight from Udaipur. This particular region was home to the Mawari kingdom, and their cuisine was based on rustic battlefield foods. Today, the chefs in the royal kitchens work hard to make sure the local influences of their cuisine is alive and kicking. Sameer wants me to meet Beirulal, the longest serving chef at the palace. He's actually a descendant of the Mawari kingdom, so keeping the traditional food alive is extremely important to him. And he's been working here for 40 years. But Beirulal, it's your final day, it's his swan song, and he's cooking his last dish for me. This is unbelievable. Chalo, pakayenge, let's get cooking. Chef, why don't you go in here? Up, okay, and you can show me what you're doing. Chef Bairu is making a paneer soita. Paneer is Indian cheese and soita is cornmeal. He's also using chilies, onions, tomatoes and peppers, which will make a delicious vegetable stew. But the vibrant spices and pinch of amchur give it a distinct flavor which is rich and spicy. Amchur is dry mango powder, and that dry mango powder, actually that's wonderful sharpness, there's that sweetness, smoky, earthy taste. It's a wonderful souring agent. To cook this paneer soita, Chef Bairu is using traditional methods. I love this wood-burning stove, it's fantastic.
Yeah, we call it chula. Chula.
The wood, which is smoking, is going to make that dish even better.
Especially, it gets the flavor from the pot. From the clay pot.
Is it ready, Chef? There. I'm looking forward to tasting this paneer soita, the mild and delicate cheese brought alive by the spices and chilies. As a perfect accompaniment, Bairu is making rotis, a flatbread using millet flour, one of the most widely used in Rajasthan. And he's cooking them the traditional way, over hot coals with lotus leaves for protection. You could also use banana or fig leaves. This is an authentic dish of the region, and I'm getting a real taste of Udaipur and its history. So you've now made the paneer, soita and the bread, which is really delicious. I'm going to try it. This is fantastic, Chef. Bahut acha bane. Excellent. This is your last dish for me, which you've cooked. This is fantastic. Bairu has so much history linked to this extraordinary palace. Not only has he worked here for 40 years, he was actually born here. His parents were caretakers of the building when it was the royal home of the Maharaja. 58 years on, and it's his last day at the palace, and when you've been here as long as him, you leave in style. Not even a chef of Bairu's status can escape a bit of naughtiness from the younger generation. I'm glad I was able to meet Bairu and taste his special food, perfected over 4 decades at Lake Palace. Whilst I was at the Lake Palace and met this amazing chef, he made this amazing paneer dish. And I thought, you know what, I want to do a dish as a tribute to him, but I thought I'll enhance it more by turning it into a kofta with potatoes, spinach, tomatoes, bit of garlic, ginger, chilies, and the sauce with some wonderful spice called ajwain. It has a very distinct flavor, and it just gives out that sort of edginess, almost like thyme, and it's wonderful. First of all, we have to make the sauce. So I put 1 kilo of tomatoes in the pan, and I've allowed them to disintegrate. And to that I'm going to add some garlic and ginger, a bay leaf and 5 cloves, 3 cardamom pods. Just crack them open slightly, and then in the pan they go. So once the tomatoes disintegrate, you just put it into a food processor and whiz it up, and then pour it back into the pan and then reduce it. So you can see this gorgeous consistency here. It's thick, it's wonderful, and very simple. Now, we've got to just add a few bits and pieces to this. 2 teaspoons of chili powder, a teaspoon of dried fenugreek leaves, 100 milliliters of single cream, half a teaspoon of garam masala, a pinch of salt, and a sprinkling of sugar. And that all gets folded in like that. So finish off with a tablespoon of butter. Lovely sweetness from the tomatoes. The heat coming through with the chilies. Can get the hint of fenugreek, and then the next turns of the garam masala. It's just absolutely perfect. We love this. Beautiful and simple, and you've got this lovely colour of sunset. The colours of India have really influenced me in many ways because it's so vibrant, and I always know that when I'm in India, I find that the light is really different. It has more of a pinkish hue. It's not like being back in Europe, where the light can be quite blue, but the colours are much more vivid there, and I like to translate that back in my food. On to my koftas. Here I've got 2 potatoes, they're Maris Piper potatoes, which have been parboiled, and then the skin's been removed, and then they've been grated. So this is what you would get. Now to that, I'm going to add 250 grams of paneer. It's a form of Indian cottage cheese, but it's much harder. You need to grate the paneer and add 3 chopped green chilies, 2 inches of finely chopped ginger, and a generous sprinkling of ajwain seeds, which tastes very much like thyme, but much stronger. Next, add 100 grams of finely shredded spinach leaves and a pinch of salt. Then get your hands in the bowl and give it a really good mix. It is rather messy, but it's the only way. You have to dig in and then make them into little golf ball sizes. You can just serve them on their own without the sauce as a canapé with a chutney. It can be used as a main course. It could be used as a filling. India has a wonderful spirituality which I've always been drawn to. And there's a great depth of feeling with the people, and I have that connectedness and that whole sense of family and being part of the one. That has always been something which I've always got in India. And now we start making the batter. Mix 100 grams of gram flour, which is made from chickpeas, with 50 milliliters of water and give it a whisk until the consistency is smooth and thick. If you wanted to make it a bit more spicy, you could add some chili powder to it. You could also add some dry mango powder, which will give it a lovely sharpness. So you can do quite a bit in this batter. Time now to deep fry what will be delicious koftas. The only way you can check whether your oil is hot is to get a tiny spoon, take a bit of this batter, and just put it into the oil. If it starts sizzling like that, the koftas are ready for frying. You don't want the temperature to be so hot where it just burns it from outside, and then they can go straight in. Cook these koftas until they are golden brown. Then it's time to serve with a mouth-watering tomato sauce. Finish off with black pepper and coriander leaves. I think Chef Bairo would be very proud of me. And there you have it, a spinach paneer kofta in a tomato buttery sauce. Absolutely yummy. My favourite accompaniment to this dish is a fresh and tangy kachumba, which is a salad of tomatoes, onions and cucumber. In a bowl, mix together 1 large finely diced red onion, 1 diced cucumber, 2 large diced tomatoes. Mix together, add salt to taste and half a teaspoon of chaat masala, which is a spice mix that has a sweet and sour taste. Then add some fresh chopped coriander and the juice of 1 lime, which will really bring out the flavour. Fresh, colourful and totally mouth-watering.